everyone, and welcome back to Read and Learn English. I'm so excited to have you here today. Before we dive into another fantastic story, let's do a quick warm-up to get our brains buzzing in English. Don't worry, these are super easy and fun, and they'll really help you feel more confident, step by step. Remember, the more you practice, the more natural English will feel. So take your time, have a blast, and let's get started. Chapter 1, The Magic of Thinking In. English, have you ever found yourself tripping over your words when trying to speak English, even though you know all the vocabulary? Do you often catch yourself translating everything from your native language in your head before you speak? If so, you're definitely not alone. So many English learners face this exact challenge. But guess what? There's a super powerful solution. Thinking in English? In this chapter, we're going to dig into why thinking in English seriously boosts your fluency, how you can finally break free from that annoying translation habit, and how to actually switch your brain into an English mode. Section 1. Why? Thinking in English makes you more fluent. Fluency isn't just about knowing a bunch of words. It's about using them smoothly and naturally, without any hesitation. When you train yourself to think in English, you're essentially teaching your brain to process words faster. This makes it a lot easier to form sentences and respond quickly in conversations. Think about how you speak your native language. You don't stop to translate every single word, right? It just happens automatically. That's exactly what we're aiming for in English. When your thoughts naturally flow in, English speaking becomes second nature. It also helps a ton with your pronunciation and grammar. Instead of constantly translating and worrying about all those tricky rules, your brain starts to adapt to English. Sentence patterns all on its own over time. This makes your speech sound so much more fluid and natural. Section 2. Kicking the translation habit. Many learners rely on their native language like a comfortable safety net. They think in their first language, then translate it into English, and then, finally, speak. But this whole process seriously slows you down and often leads to mistakes. For example, imagine you want to say, "I'm super excited about our picnic this weekend." If you translate word by word from another language, the sentence might come out completely wrong. Some languages use different word orders, expressions, or grammar rules. That's why direct translation can sometimes result in really unnatural-sounding English. So, how do you ditch this habit? Start small. Try to name everyday objects around you in English. Instead of thinking mesa in Spanish and then translating it, just think table. Practice simple thoughts in English, like, "I need to grab some coffee," or "Wow, it's a beautiful day." The more you do this, the less your brain will rely on translating. Section 3. Shifting your brain to English. Mode now. Let's talk about actually shifting your mindset into an English mode. This means creating an environment where English becomes your default way of thinking. First, immerse yourself in English as much as humanly possible. Listen to English, music, podcasts, and audiobooks. Watch movies and TV shows in English, read books, articles, or even social media posts in English. The more you expose yourself, the easier it will be to switch into an English thinking mindset. Another fantastic technique is self-talk. That means thinking or even quietly speaking to yourself in English throughout your day. For example, While you're making dinner, you can say in your mind, I'm slicing the tomatoes now. Next, I'll boil the pasta. It might feel a little weird at first, but your brain will absolutely get used to it over time. You can also ask yourself questions in English and then answer them. What did I accomplish today? What are my plans for tomorrow? This really helps you form thoughts directly in English. Chapter 2. Daily English Immersion. Your secret weapon. What if I told you that you don't need to pack your bags and move to an English-speaking country to start? Thinking and speaking like a native. The real secret to mastering English faster is immersion, surrounding yourself with the language every single day. In this chapter, we're going to explore some super simple but incredibly powerful ways to immerse yourself in English, even if you live somewhere where English isn't. The primary language. Section 1, Drowning Yourself in English. Media in a good way. The easiest way to create your own English-speaking bubble is by using what's already all around you. TV shows, movies, music, podcasts, and books. Start by watching movies or a TV series in English. If you're just starting out, use English subtitles, not your native language subtitles. This helps you connect the words you hear with their written form. As you get better, challenge yourself by turning off the subtitles altogether. Next, crank up some English music. Choose songs with really clear lyrics and try singing along. This not only improves your pronunciation, but also helps you get used to natural sentence rhythms. You can also listen to English podcasts or audiobooks while you're doing everyday activities like cooking, driving, or hitting the gym. The key here is consistency. Even if you only have 15 minutes a day, make it a habit. The more English your brain hears, the more it adapts to it. Section 2, listening with a purpose, not just hearing. Simply hearing English isn't quite enough. You need to listen actively. Here's an incredibly effective technique. Pause and repeat. When you're watching a movie or listening to a podcast, pause after a sentence. Repeat what you heard and try your best to mimic the pronunciation. This helps train your mouth and your ears to understand and produce natural English sounds. Another fantastic method is shadowing. Play an audio clip and speak along with it at the exact same time, like an echo. This technique is a triple threat. It improves your fluency, pronunciation, and listening skills all at once. Section 3, reading and writing in English. Don't skip these. Reading and writing are just as important as listening and speaking. Start by reading simple books, news, articles, or blog posts in English. Don't stress about understanding every single word. Just focus on the general meaning. If you come across a new word, try to guess its meaning from the context before you rush to look it up. Writing is a huge help for thinking in English. Keep a simple daily journal. Write about your day, your thoughts, or your plans. Even short sentences like, today was really busy, or I explored a new park, will help you build confidence. You can also write social media posts, comments, or even text messages in English. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Chapter 3, Cultivating Your English Inner Voice. Have you ever caught yourself talking to yourself in your native language? Maybe you're mentally figuring out what to have for lunch, planning your day, or replaying a conversation in your head. Now, imagine doing all of that in English. That, my friends, is called developing an inner voice, and it's one of the most powerful ways to train yourself to think and speak in English naturally. In this chapter, we're going to explore how to create that English inner voice, why it's absolutely essential for fluency, and simple techniques you can practice every single day. Section 1. Why an English inner voice is your fluency game changer thinking in. English is the ultimate key to speaking. Without all that hesitation, when you translate from your native language, it seriously slows you down. But when your brain starts forming thoughts directly in English, speaking becomes truly effortless. Developing an inner voice in English helps. You think faster and more naturally, improves your vocabulary and sentence structure, and drastically reduces your dependence on translation. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. Section 2. Practicing self-talk in English, the easiest way to develop your English inner voice is through self-talk. Start by narrating your daily activities. When you wake up, think, I need to make my bed. When you're making breakfast, say, in your mind, I'm scrambling the eggs. Now, time to toast the bread. You can also describe what's happening around you. If you're at the mall, think, the music is loud, lots of people are shopping, I need to find a new jacket. Another fantastic technique is asking yourself questions in English. Instead of thinking, what should I do? Today, in your native language, ask in English. What are my plans for today? Then answer in English too. Section 3. Using mental note-taking in English, we all make mental notes. Throughout the day, reminders, to-do, lists, or random thoughts. Try doing this in English. For example, if you're at the grocery store, instead of thinking, I need to grab some bananas and yogurt, say it in English. I need bananas and yogurt. Or if you just had a brilliant idea, instead of thinking it in your native language, phrase it in English. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Section 4. Talking to yourself out loud when you can. If you're in a private space, maybe your room or on a quiet walk, try speaking your thoughts out loud. It might feel a little awkward at first, but it's an excellent way to practice pronunciation and sentence structure. You can even role-play conversations. Pretend you're ordering coffee at a cafe or introducing yourself to someone new. By practicing aloud, you build confidence and fluency. Chapter 4. Supercharging your vocabulary. Effectively, have you ever struggled to find just the right words when you're speaking English? Do you sometimes pause because you can't quite express your thoughts clearly? Expanding your vocabulary is absolutely key to speaking more confidently and naturally. But here's the big secret. Simply memorizing long lists of words isn't the best way. Instead, you need to learn words in context, connect them to real situations, and use them regularly. In this chapter, we'll explore the most effective ways to really expand your vocabulary and make sure those new words actually stick in your mind. Section 1. Learning words in context. Not alone, many learners try to memorize words by just looking at a list. But this method rarely helps you use the words in actual conversations. Instead, you should always learn new words. In context, for example, instead of just memorizing the word fascinating, learn it in a full sentence. This documentary about ancient civilizations is absolutely fascinating. Seeing words in real sentences helps you truly understand how they're used. Naturally, you can do this by reading books, watching TV shows, or listening to English speakers. When you hear a new word, pay close attention to how it's used within a sentence. Another clever trick is word association. Connect new words to things you already know. For instance, if you learn the word colossal, picture something enormous in your mind, like a colossal skyscraper. Section 2. Flashcards and spaced. Repetition, your memory's best friend's one. Of the absolute best ways to remember. Words is by using flashcards. Apps like Anki or Quizlet are amazing for creating digital flashcards with new words and reviewing them regularly. The key here is spaced repetition, reviewing words at increasing intervals. Instead of repeating words over and over, in one day, review them after a few hours, then after a day, then after a week. This technique seriously strengthens your memory. On your flashcards, don't just write the word and its meaning. Add a sentence using the word, and if you can, a picture that represents it. This makes learning so much more effective. Section 3. Synonyms and word. Families, double your power. To expand your vocabulary even faster, learn synonyms, words with similar meanings. For example, instead of always saying happy, learn other ways to express the same idea. I feel joyful, I'm thrilled, I'm in a great mood. Also, learn word families. If you learn the word creation, also learn related words like creative, adjective, and create verb. This method helps you build a rich vocabulary without feeling totally overwhelmed. Section 4. Using new words in your daily life. Learning new words is completely useless if you don't actually use them. Every single time you learn a new word, try to use it in a sentence the same day. You can write a short journal entry using the new word. Use the word in a conversation with a friend, or simply say a sentence aloud to yourself. The more you use a word, the more natural it becomes. Chapter 5. Mastering sentence structures and grammar without the headaches. Have you ever paused while speaking English because you weren't entirely sure if your sentence was correct? Do you feel completely overwhelmed by grammar rules? You are not alone. Many learners grapple with grammar, but here's the honest truth. You don't need to. Memorize complex rules to speak fluently. The secret is to think in simple sentence structures and learn grammar naturally. Through practice, in this chapter, we're going to explore how to master essential sentence patterns, simplify grammar, and use common sentence structures to sound much more natural. Section 1. Thinking in phrases, not just single words. One common mistake learners make is trying to build sentences word by word. This often leads to really unnatural speech and a lot of hesitation. Instead, learn common phrases and sentence patterns that you can use automatically. For example, instead of just memorizing the word interested, learn it in a full phrase. I'm interested in exploring new cultures. Or instead of just learning the word learn a sentence pattern. I love learning English because it opens up new worlds. By practicing full phrases. Instead of isolated words, you'll form sentences faster and much more naturally. Section 2. Keeping it simple, natural. Grammar structures. Many learners think that using complex grammar makes them sound smarter. But honestly, even native speakers often prefer simple, clear sentences. Let's compare. Complex sentence. Despite the fact that I was feeling utterly fatigued, I diligently proceeded with my academic endeavors. Simple and natural. Sentence. I was tired, but I kept studying. See the difference? The meaning is exactly the same, but the second sentence sounds so much more natural and conversational. So don't overcomplicate things. Stick to subject plus verb plus object. Sentences. She enjoys hiking. We visited the museum. I don't understand. Mastering simple grammar first will make your speech smoother and much more confident. Section 3. Practicing common sentence. Patterns to speak fluently. You need to get really comfortable with the most common sentence structures. Here are a few patterns to practice. Expressing opinions. For example, I think that practicing every day is essential, in my opinion. For example, in my opinion, learning languages is a rewarding journey. Practice is the key to fluency. Talking about the past. Yesterday I went to the bookstore. When I was a child, I used to play video games for hours, asking questions. What do you think about? For example, what do you think about this new movie? Can you tell me? For example, can you tell me where the nearest coffee shop is? By practicing these patterns daily, you'll be able to form sentences faster, without having to think too much. Chapter 6. Level up your speaking skills with daily practice. Do you ever feel a little nervous when you're speaking English? Maybe you worry about making mistakes or that people won't quite understand you. If so, you're absolutely not alone. Many learners struggle with speaking confidence, but here's the really good news. You don't need a language partner or a classroom to practice speaking. The secret is daily practice using simple but incredibly effective techniques. In this chapter, we'll explore the best ways to dramatically improve your English, speaking skills on your own, and make speaking feel natural and effortless. Section 1. Speaking without the fear of mistakes. One of the biggest hurdles to fluency is the fear of making mistakes. But listen, here's the truth. Even native speakers make mistakes. The important thing is to just keep speaking. Instead of obsessing over being perfect, focus on being understood. If you say, "Yesterday I go to the store," it's not grammatically perfect, but people will still understand you perfectly. So, please don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are actually proof that you're learning and growing. Section 2. Mere practice and self-talk. Your solo speaking partners, you absolutely don't need a speaking partner to improve your English. You can practice speaking alone using 2 super simple techniques. Mirror speaking. Stand in front of a mirror and simply talk about your day, your plans, or anything that's on your mind. This helps you get comfortable speaking out loud and seriously boosts your confidence. Self-talk throughout your day. Describe what you're doing in English. For example, when you're cooking, say, "I'm chopping the onions now. Next, I'll add the spices." When you're out for a walk, say, "The sky is so blue today. Look at those fluffy clouds." The more you speak, even to yourself, the more natural it will become. Section 3. Shadowing, the superpower. Technique for fluency. One of the fastest ways to improve both pronunciation and fluency is shadowing. Here's how it works. Choose an English audio clip. This could be a podcast, a scene from a movie, or even a short speech. Listen to a short sentence. Repeat it immediately, trying to copy the speaker's tone and pronunciation exactly. For example, if you hear, "I really enjoyed that concert," you repeat it in the same way. "I really enjoyed that concert." This trains your mouth and brain to think and speak in English automatically. The more you shadow, the better your pronunciation will become. Section 4. Recording yourself and listening back. Your personal coach, another incredibly powerful way to improve speaking is to record yourself. Pick a topic and speak for 1 minute. Then listen to your recording and notice areas where you can improve. Repeat the exercise and try to work on your pronunciation and fluency. It might feel a little strange at first, but this method is fantastic for tracking your progress and building confidence. You can also ask a teacher or a language partner for feedback, even small. Adjustments can make a huge difference. Chapter 7. Thinking fast and responding. Naturally, in conversations, have you ever been in an English conversation and struggled to find the right words? Maybe you felt like you needed extra time to think, and by the time you were ready to respond, the conversation had already moved on. Thinking quickly in English is definitely one of the biggest challenges for learners, but don't worry, you don't need to be perfect to respond naturally. You just need the right techniques to train your brain to think in English faster. In this chapter, we'll explore simple strategies to help you respond quickly and confidently in conversations. Section 1. Training your brain to think. Directly in English, the first step 2. Responding quickly is drastically reducing that translation time. If you translate every single word from your native language to English, it will undoubtedly slow you down. Instead, train your brain to connect ideas directly to English words. One great way to do this is through picture thinking. Try this. Look at an object near you, maybe your phone, a coffee cup, or a book. Instead of thinking of the word in your native language first, say it directly in English. Do this with absolutely everything you see around you. Over time, your brain will form much faster English connections. Another fantastic method is quick response exercises. Ask yourself simple questions and answer them immediately in English. What did I have for breakfast? I had cereal and fruit. What's the weather like today? It's cloudy and cool. The goal here is to speak without overthinking. Section 2. Using filler words to keep the conversation flowing. Native speakers often use filler words to give themselves a little extra thinking time without pausing. Awkwardly, you can absolutely do the same. Here are some really useful filler words and phrases. Well, let me think. That's a good question. Instead of an awkward pause, I don't know. Try a natural response. Well, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about it before. Using fillers makes your speech sound much more natural and confident. Section 3. Practicing common conversation. Patterns to respond quickly. You need ready-made phrases that you can use without having to think too much. Here are some useful patterns. Agreeing or disagreeing. I totally agree with you. I see your point, but I think giving opinions. In my opinion, it's really interesting. I think that's a great idea. Expressing uncertainty. I'm not sure, but maybe. That's an interesting question. Practicing these common phrases will really help you respond faster in real conversations. Section 4. Role-playing conversations. Your practice playground, one of the best. Ways to think quickly in English is to practice real-life situations. Pick a scenario, such as ordering food at a restaurant, introducing yourself, or making small talk with someone new. Then role-play the conversation aloud. For example, "Hi, I'd like to order a large pizza. Please." "Sure. What toppings would you like?" "Just pepperoni and mushrooms. Thank you. Bye." Practicing common situations, You'll feel much more prepared and respond faster when you're in real life. Chapter 8. Polishing your pronunciation. And speaking clearly, have you ever spoken English and felt like people didn't quite understand what you were saying? Maybe you worry that your pronunciation isn't clear enough? Don't worry. You absolutely don't need a perfect accent to be understood. But you do need to focus on clear pronunciation so that others can easily follow what you're saying. In this chapter, we'll explore simple techniques to really improve your pronunciation, sound more natural, and speak English with confidence. Section 1. Training your mouth for English. Sounds English has some sounds that might not even exist in your native language. 2. Pronounce words clearly. You need to train your mouth to move differently. Try this. Exaggerate difficult sounds when you're practicing. If a word is hard to say, slow down and pronounce each syllable clearly. For example, instead of rushing through comfortable, break it down. Comfortable. Instead of mumbling interesting, say interesting. Slowing down and exaggerating sounds helps you develop muscle memory. Over time, your mouth will naturally produce the right sounds. Section 2. Using shadowing to supercharge pronunciation. 1. Of the best techniques for improving pronunciation is shadowing. Here's how to do it. Choose an English audio clip, maybe a podcast, a speech, or a movie scene. Play a short sentence and listen carefully. Repeat it immediately, copying the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and tone. For example, if you hear "It's a beautiful day outside," you repeat, "It's a beautiful day outside." This method trains your brain and mouth to sound more natural. The more you shadow, the better your pronunciation will become. Section 3. Mastering stress and intonation. The music of English pronunciation isn't just about individual sounds. It's also about stress and intonation. Word stress. In English, some syllables are stressed more than others. For example, in the word important, we say important, not important sentence. Intonation. English sentences have a natural rise and fall. When you're asking a question, your voice usually rises. Are you coming? Rising? Tone? When you're making a statement, your voice usually falls. I'm going to the library. Falling tone. Practicing stress and intonation helps you sound much more natural and expressive. Section 4. Recording yourself and getting feedback. Your personal guide, a fantastic way to improve pronunciation, is to record yourself and then listen back. Pick a short paragraph, read it aloud, and record yourself. Listen to your pronunciation and compare it to native speakers. Identify areas for improvement and try again. You can also ask a teacher or a language partner for feedback. Even small adjustments can make a big difference. Chapter 9. Conquering common speaking. Challenges in English. Do you ever get a little frustrated when you're speaking English? Maybe you struggle with nerves, remembering the right words, or forming sentences on the spot. Don't worry, you are absolutely not alone. Many learners face challenges when speaking. But the good news is that you can overcome them with the right mindset and strategies. In this chapter, we'll explore some of the most common speaking challenges in English and how you can tackle them with confidence and ease. Section 1. Dealing with nervousness and confidence issues. One of the biggest challenges when speaking English is nervousness. It's completely normal to feel anxious, especially when speaking in front of others. But here's a secret. Confidence comes with practice. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll feel. Start by practicing in low-pressure situations. Speak to yourself in the mirror, record your voice, or chat with a close friend. These smaller steps help you build confidence before speaking in more stressful situations. Also, constantly. Remind yourself that making mistakes is a totally normal part of the learning process. Even native speakers make mistakes. It's how you improve. So, relax, smile, and just keep going. Section 2. Expanding your vocabulary for smoother conversations. Have you ever been in a conversation and struggled to find just the right word? It's frustrating when you can't express your ideas clearly. One great way to tackle this is by expanding your vocabulary. The more words you know, the easier it becomes to express yourself. But you don't have to memorize every single word in the dictionary. Instead, focus on learning the most common words and phrases you use daily. For example, if you're talking about your plans, practice the phrase, "I'm going to the gym later." Then expand it to different situations. I'm going to meet a friend. I'm going to bake a cake. By practicing these common phrases, you'll have the vocabulary you need for everyday conversations. Section 3. Finding the right words quickly, even when they hide. Another challenge many learners face is finding the right words quickly. It's frustrating when you're in the middle of a conversation, but the word you need just isn't coming to you a fantastic way. To solve this problem is by practicing paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means expressing the same idea using different words. For example, if you can't remember the word exhausted, you could say, "I'm really tired," or "I'm completely worn out." This technique helps you stay fluent even when the exact word isn't coming to mind. Over time, you'll develop the ability to think on your feet and keep the conversation flowing smoothly. Section 4. Speaking more fluidly with pauses and fillers sometimes. It's absolutely okay to pause while speaking, especially if it helps you collect your thoughts. It's completely normal to take a brief pause to find the right word or to think about what you want to say next. You can also use fillers to give yourself time too. Think. Fillers are words or sounds like, well, let me think. Using fillers helps the conversation feel more natural, and it gives you a moment to find the right word or form your sentence. Chapter 10. Staying motivated and consistent on your English learning. Journey learning English is an incredibly exciting journey, but like any journey, it can sometimes feel a little overwhelming. There are days when you might feel stuck, frustrated, or simply unmotivated to practice. But here's the key to success. Consistency is far more important than perfection. Staying motivated and making a habit of practicing every day is what will truly bring you closer to fluency. In this chapter, we'll explore practical tips to help you stay motivated and keep moving forward in your English learning journey. Section 1. Setting clear goals and tracking progress. One of the best ways to stay motivated is by setting clear and achievable goals. Start by asking yourself, what do the firsts really want to achieve with my English? Do you want to be able to hold a conversation confidently with tourists? Do you want to improve your writing skills for work? Once you know your goals, break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. For example, this week I want to learn 10 new vocabulary words. Or today, I'll practice speaking for 10 minutes. Tracking your progress is also absolutely essential. Whether it's through a journal, a language, app, or a simple checklist, seeing how far you've come will seriously motivate you to keep going. Section 2. Making English a natural part of your daily life. One of the most powerful ways to stay consistent is by integrating English into your daily routine. The more you make English a part of your life, the more natural it will feel. Here are a few simple ways to do this. Listen to English podcasts or songs while doing daily tasks like chores or commuting. Change the language settings on your phone, computer, or social media accounts to English. Watch movies or TV shows in English, even if you start with subtitles in your native language. Even small actions like these help you stay immersed in English, and before you know it, you'll be thinking in English naturally. Section 3. Finding your perfect learning method. There are so many different ways to learn, and it's super important to find what works best for you. Some people learn best through listening, while others prefer speaking or writing. Try out a few methods to see what keeps you engaged. Flashcards for vocabulary. Building language exchange with a partner too. Practice conversation. Writing exercises like journaling or creative writing. Once you find a method that you genuinely enjoy, stick with it. The key to consistency is making sure you're learning. Routine is something you actually look forward to. Section 4. Rewarding yourself and celebrating milestones. Learning a language is a long-term process, and it's easy to get discouraged if you only focus on the final goal. That's why it's incredibly important to celebrate your milestones along the way. For every goal you achieve, whether it's learning new vocabulary, having a successful short conversation, or understanding a movie scene without subtitles, take a moment to reward yourself. Maybe you treat yourself to a favorite snack, take a short break to do something you enjoy, or share your success with a friend or family member. These small rewards help reinforce the habit and remind you that you're truly making progress. Conclusion: you've got this. Staying motivated and consistent in your English learning journey is all about building a habit. Set clear goals. Make English a part of your daily routine. Find a learning method you love and celebrate every little achievement along the way. Remember, fluency doesn't happen overnight, but small, consistent steps lead to truly big results. So keep going. Your journey is absolutely worth it, and you're getting closer to your goals every single day. You've got this. Stay motivated and enjoy the process. If you're enjoying these easy-to-understand English stories and tips, I'd absolutely love for you to join our growing learning community here on Read and Learn English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, where I share simple and helpful tips to make learning English easier and more fun. For you, I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to practice more, whether it's speaking, listening, reading, or anything else. Your feedback helps me create the best content for you. Thanks for watching.